Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Let me know if you guys can hear me loud and clear.
Your turn. You lost your edge, she lost attraction for you. That's how it works. What'd you think she was gonna do? Tell you she cheated? Men cannot afford to get complacent in relationships. Get your fat ass off the couch, start lifting weights and learn game. You're welcome.
And now your man,
Donovan Sharp.
What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharp, and welcome to the 1146th edition of TSR Live. Your daily dose of toxic masculinity, misogyny, and small dick energy. It is Thursday, March 27th of 2025. It is good to have you guys in today. We are streaming live to multiple platforms: Rumble, Facebook, X, MGTOW.tv, YouTube, and even Twitch. So however you're watching, wherever you're watching from, thank you for making the Sharp Reality Live a part of your daily routine. Quick announcements before we get started here. Quick announcements before we get started. There will not be, first of all, I'm not going to be doing Fresh and Fit tomorrow night. I'm not going to be doing, actually, hang on a second. Hold on. Hang on, y'all. Hang on. I got to fix this. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh my God, I got hair all in my eyes and everything. First of all, I'm not going to be doing Fresh and Fit tomorrow night. It has been literally impossible. It has been literally impossible to get a flight out of here. This week here in Reno, we are experiencing some pretty dangerous high winds. We've got high winds. What the hell is in my glasses? I swear, dude, this is so funny. Every once in a while, I'll get one of Devin's hairs stuck on me. Yeah, there are high winds right now. Gusts are up to 75 miles an hour. Planes are not able to take off and land safely here in Reno. Tried yesterday, couldn't. Tried yesterday. They delayed it, then canceled it. Rebooked for today, delayed, canceled. So I guess, I don't know, maybe some sort of forces out there are telling me that Miami is not really the place that I need to be right now. But, I don't believe in karma and all that nonsensical fate stuff. But listen, if you can't get a flight, you can't get a flight. And I know Myron and Fresh are going to be out of town, I think next week and probably the week after. So I'll just have to make another appearance. I'll have to make another appearance on Fresh and Fit. Give me a second here. There it is. Got it. So at some point, I will be on Fresh and Fit at some point. Just not this week. Not this week. There we go. Let me, of course I'm doing this, I'm doing all of this on-screen stuff. Also, there will not be a hard, Kevin Edwards said Greyhound. Hold up, man. Hold up. Oops, wait a minute. Hold on. Of course, you guys always know I fuck up the sound because I'm not a producer. Let's try that again. He said Greyhound. Nah, bruh. Nope. Sorry. That ain't happening. Oops. Listen, man, when at some point, when you hit the 2 comma club, and if you know, riding the bus is definitely not an option. That is for sure. And I don't even know how long, dude, that trip would be, to be quite honest with you. I really don't know how long that trip would even be. Give me 2 seconds here. Oh. There we go. Perfect. I'm doing this. I'm making a few changes. But yeah, I'm not going to be on Fresh and Fit. It's not for lack of trying, though. It is not for lack of trying. At some point, I will find my way down there to Miami, and at that point, DS opening, and at that point, I'll be able to make an appearance there. But as of right now, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm not going to be able to make it down there. Also, yeah, what I was talking about before, there will not be a Hard R podcast today, and there won't be a Hard R podcast today. There will be a Hard R podcast tomorrow, and then of course Monday through Friday after that. I actually have I've got some pretty serious errands to run here. I've got to get I've got to get some equipment for my studio. So not equipment, but I've got like an adapter and everything. This is actually not my regular mic. I usually use the Shure SM7B. But when we got here, the threading on the little knob won't come off. So now I have to, now I've got to do now I have to get the attachment. So hopefully when I'm back on the air tomorrow, I'll have my regular microphone. This Shure SMV7 has actually done a very good job. It's very, very good, compact. I usually use it on the road. Kevin Samuels, God rest his soul, he actually introduced me to the Shure MV7, but the SM7B, that is the one for the stationary studio. Yes, but because there will be no Hard R podcast right after TSR Live, we will be continuing our breakdown of Temptation Island. That will be right after this. So when we are done with episode 1146 of TSR Live, we'll be going straight into Temptation Island. That of course will be going down on rumble.com/Donovan Sharp. So so that's what we got. That's what we've got going on here. Let me read your comments, and then we will get right into it. KII says, I wonder if this is a mobile show, since he took a flight to Florida for Fresh and Fit. Interesting. No, obviously, I am still here in Reno. King Life says, it'll be insane if he's at their studio doing the show. Oh, no. Okay, you guys are, I'm getting ahead. I'm getting ahead here. King Life says, Tommy, I noticed there is not a man nor child behind you enjoying a meal you have kindly made for them. Wait, that's not a kitchen. Absolutely. The panel verse I'm sick of this border, Don. He says, the Canada and USA, we are one people. You are more Canadian than these pretenders who sold out my land. We are North Americans. I mean, the panel verse, listen, I'm glad you feel the way you do. I don't really have an opinion on it one way or the other. If I'm being honest, I'm not really sure. The Level Up Man says, strap yourselves in, gentlemen. I saw this interview, and it is absolutely wild. # no spoilers. Absolutely no spoilers, guys. I would greatly appreciate that. Jay Blaze says, the only spoiler is Tommy is never in a kitchen. Yeah, this is something that Pearl Davis has maintained about these tradcons. Tradcon women are all low-key feminists. You guys remember when she made the appearance on Timcast IRL? She exposed Lauren Jen, for being the feminist that she is. Tradcons are feminists in disguise. Gabby says, saw Joker talk about this. Was hoping to get your thoughts on this. There's 5 people on this panel, yet only one man is sitting among them, so I am told. AJ206 says the audio is good, very good. Black Russian Lam says, happy almost Friday, dudes. 3.5 dudes. I don't know what the 3.5 dudes mean. Let's see, y'all. Chicago says, if you don't believe in karma, you don't believe in God. Anyway, glad to see you live. Yeah, Chicago. I mean, are you trying to call me an atheist here? You trying to call me an atheist? I don't care. I don't care what you think. I really could not give less of a fuck what you think about my religious beliefs. But no, there is no such thing as karma. Full stop. Karma does not exist, okay? Karma does not exist, okay? Karma is something that karma is cope, guys. That's exactly what it is. Karma, you have to understand, karma is 1,000% cope. Karma is something that people cling to when a wrong has been done to them, right? So if somebody screws you over and for whatever reason you can't get your get back, you always say, okay, well, karma is going to get them in the end. A lot of people said that O.J. Simpson got karma for what he did to, for what he did allegedly to Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman when he got the 8 or 9 year sentence in Las Vegas. No, that wasn't karma. That was cause and effect. OJ trusted the wrong people. Those wrong people double-crossed him. He ended up in jail. There is no such thing as karma, okay? There is only cause and effect. If I throw this beard brush up, okay, it's not karma that puts it back in my hand. What goes up must come down. No, that's gravity. Cause and effect. Karma does not exist. There is no cosmic force out there in the universe that balances everything. It does not work that way. There is no such thing as karma. A lot of people said that Kevin Samuels, when he died, that was karma for all the shit that he talked about black women. No, that was not karma. That was cause and effect. Kevin had a heart problem because he was a cancer survivor, and the cancer medications that he used made him more susceptible to cardiac events such as a heart attack. There is no such thing as karma, gentlemen. I don't care what anybody tells me. This is not an opinion, guys. This is a fact, okay? You are in control of what you do, okay? You are in control of yourself. You are in control of your life, okay? And think about it like this, guys. If karma really did exist, there would be a lot of miserable people in the world, mainly women. And, well, really they are. If karma really did exist, then why are women winning on the dating market? Now, obviously, they're not winning on the marriage market, right? We know that they're miserable and this and that and the third, but the number of times that women screw over men, I mean, in so many ways, you would think that they would be destined for a life of destitute. But no, most of them are living lives. You take any average rank and file American woman who was screwed over a guy, cheated on him, stolen from him, whatever the case may be, they still live good lives, okay? Later on in life, they are miserable, not because of karma, because of cause and effect. When you sleep with enough men, okay, when you bounce from cock to cock, relationship to relationship, you can't pair bond. That is cause and effect. That is not karma. So for all of you karma, enthusiasts out there, listen, if you believe in karma, that's fine. I'm going to respectfully and vehemently disagree with you that there is no such thing as karma. And just because I don't believe that there's no such thing as karma does not mean that I believe that there's no God. Right? I don't know. I'm probably closer to agnostic at some point up the chain of command in terms of creation. There has to be an uncaused cause. I don't know if that uncaused cause is what Christianity has told us that it is. But I do believe that there is a deity. I'm not sure if it's the God or Allah or, there's some cultures that celebrate many gods, right? And here's the thing. All religions are all kind of different. All religions are different surface level. Fundamentally, all religions are pretty much the same. Be good to your neighbor. Don't cheat on your wife. Don't kill. Don't steal. Don't do bad things to people. That's pretty much what religion is. Just be a good person and live your life and try to do the best you can, right? That's fundamentally surface level wise. We all got there, through different means. You mean to tell me the monks up in Tibet, they're devout, they have religious beliefs. Does that mean that the Baptist minister down in Lexington, Kentucky doesn't know what he's talking about? You got the Baptist minister, you've got the Catholic priests, you've got Buddhists, you've got, let's see, who else is there? You've got Muslims, right? Not everybody can be right about everything. Okay, yes, Christianity is huge, but how do we know that it really happened the way it did, right? You going to tell the Buddhist monks up in their Buddhist temples that they're wrong? No, this is what they've believed for centuries. It's just how it is. And not only that, Christianity is a relatively new religion. Dude, there have been religions around the world for millennia. Christianity hasn't really been around that long relative to the rest of religion. So that's where I stand on religion. That's where I stand on religion. Let's see. Chicago says, I'm trying to pull up. Bruh. No, Chicago, listen, man. Look. Karma is not going to that's not a hill that I'm going to die on. I don't care what you think. I'm not going to get into a debate about karma with you. Yes, you can pull up if you want to, but the pull-up studios are empty. Dasher says, you reap what you sow is something real. Is that right, Dasher? Is that right? You reap what you sow. Is that right? Is that right? You reap what you sow is another way of... See, you reap what you sow is not karma. You reap what you sow is cause and effect. If you eat a bunch of junk food, it's not karma that makes you fat and out of shape. No, that's cause and effect. Number one. Number two, Dasher, I know you're not in here talking about you reap what you sow. Because if you really did reap what you sow, the 2 years you wasted with this virgin who did nothing but waste your time would be yours. You see, Dasher, you did everything right. You respected her boundaries. You talked to her. You guys talked about marriage, all this other kind of stuff. You didn't sleep with her. You didn't even try to kiss her. You didn't even try to kiss her. Those are supposed to be good, respectful things that men are supposed to do. Well, if karma really did exist, if you really did reap what you sow in that context, you'd be with this 22-year-old virginal woman. But you're not, right? You reap what you sow. Listen, you tried to sow a good relationship and you did all of the right things. It didn't work out for you. Jaeger Juarez with the 5 British pound super chat says, Donovan, over here in the UK, it is absolutely finished. They are trying everything to eradicate masculine men. Yes, that is 100% correct. And you know what's interesting? I was actually going to do a separate video on the show, on that Netflix show, Adolescence, because Devin and I remember when I told you guys, Devin and I had started watching Adolescence. We were very, very excited about it. As the series went on, it became very, very clear that there was a clear agenda. There was a clear agenda. The way it was shot, all in one shot, brilliant cinematography, A1, A+ acting. It was like, dude, the way it started off was unbelievable. Dude, Devin and I could not wait. We could not wait to watch Adolescence. But by about episode, I would say middle end of the second episode, third episode, when the detective's son talked about the Manosphere, I actually posted this on Instagram. Devin and I looked at each other. We're like, yep, here we go. And then, of course, it escalated all the way up with the 80-20 rule. Then the kid sitting with the psychiatrist, him getting explosive, all that good stuff. Yeah. So I was going to do a separate live stream on that, but it appears we're going to be able to talk about it. It appears that we're going to be able to talk about it. All right, let's see. Chicago says, drop the link.
Yep.
Ooh.
Nope.
No, I'm not dropping the link, and no, I'm not scared of you. I'm not debating karma with people. I'm sorry. I'm just not gonna do that. I debate opinions. I don't debate facts. There's no such thing as karma. And if you want to disagree, fine, disagree. I don't give a shit. You can talk all the shit you want in the chat. You're not coming up here to talk about karma. And if I do drop the link and I see your ass come in here talking about karma, I'll ban your ass because I am not debating people about karma. Sorry. Dasher says Christianity doesn't teach karma, but reaping what you sow. Yes, you reap what you sow is code for karma. Okay? You reap what you sow is code for karma. Just use cause and effect, right? Your life is affected by the choices you make. Karma has nothing to do with that. Yeah, King Life says don't do bad and hopefully nothing bad happens to you, right? Yep. Jay Blaze says Andrew Tate for Prime Minister. Yep, I'll get behind that. Gabby says, hey, shout out Kentucky. He is in Louisville. Appreciate that. Best place in London was the food market, says Jay Blaze. Absolutely. Aryan Privilege says theological out of depth stem to return to basic theme. Yeah. Fuck you. Fuck you, dude. Get the fuck out of here. I'm just gonna time your ass out. Yep. Listen, man. I woke up and chose violence today. I'm putting you in timeout for 5 minutes. Dude, I swear to God, there's always somebody in the chat. Always somebody in the chat. You shouldn't be talking about this. Stick to the topic. No, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck off, Aryan Privilege. I don't give a fuck what you think. Dude, if I want to talk about religion, if I want to talk about Wendy's Frosties, if I want to talk about thongs, if I want to talk about video games, if I want to talk about wrestling, I'm going to fucking do it because this is my goddamn show. So you can go fuck yourself and your mother. Dumbass, man. Chicago says niggas scared. Oh boy. No, I'm not. Jesus. Chicago. Oh my God. Chicago, are you really are you really going bark, 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 chicken, chicken, chicken? Donovan scared, he's a chicken. Bruh. This ain't middle school, bruh. This ain't middle school. I'm not. Yeah, there it is, because I'm right. Of course you are. Of course you are. Of course you are. Didn't choose violence if you scared. All right, Chicago, that's it. You're done. Never ever seen this nigga on the channel. The first thing he wants to do is disagree. is disagree about something inconsequential to literally everything. Sorry. So fuck you. You're out of here. Niggas scared. These niggas. Kevin Edwards says, yeah, let's talk about wrestling. Yeah, right. Yeah, Nain Rouge says karma is not consistent. Sometimes speedy return vengeance. Often nothing happens. Exactly. Taiki says, Donovan not bringing you up due to your bad karma, I guess, Chicago. Yeah, there you go. There it is. Look, you don't think karma is real? Cool. There it is. You're out. But again, karma didn't have nothing to do with that. Chicago was just out of fucking pocket and being a nigga. Talking about niggas scared. Nigga, shut the fuck up. Nigga, I'm 6'2". Well, I've actually lost a little weight. I'm 6'2", 225, 230-ish. Bruh, I'm a 4-time convicted felon. Dude, I'm not scared of some idiot in the chat who wants to debate karma. Fuck out of here, man. Gully Blanchard says, Dasher only believes in you reap what you sow, except for when he simps over a chick who's not interested in him. Yeah, you kind of had that coming, Dasher. You kind of had that coming. Listen, I'm glad that he's still in here. I'm glad that he's still in here. Hero UEL, someone who has never, ever chatted before, says, do you believe in coincidences, Donovan? Oh my God. Yeah. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is so fucking funny. Oh my God. Anytime I bring up I swear to God, you guys come here for the show, but let me talk about something that you don't agree with. All of a sudden you want to be, no, bruh. What does coincidences have? What does coincidence have to do with karma? Hero thinks he's slick. He's going to lead me down this rabbit hole of questions that's going to prove him right. Guys, this is not Donovan debates karma, okay? Saber89 with the $5 super chat says, better watch out, Sharp. He might triple dog dare you. Look, if Chicago triple dog dares me, then I ain't got no choice. I got no choice. If he double dog dared me, now listen, if he dared me, now that's a no.
Nope.
If he double dared me,
nope.
If he double dog dared me,
nope.
If he triple dog dared me?
Yep.
Absolutely. Brandon says, do you believe in Bigfoot? Yes. I wear a size 13 shoe. So yes, I do believe in Bigfoot. And so to business. So the talented Andrew Wilson apparently was on Piers Morgan the other night. And a lot of you guys wanted me to talk about and react to this. And so I've got the fair use thing down there as well. I also, as you guys can see, give me a second here. As you guys can see, I've got the cartoon. I've got the cartoon Donovan. You guys can see that I've got sort of a whoa, wait a minute. Where the hell did that go? There we go. So as you guys can see, I've got images that are, I don't know, maybe 20%, whatever the case may be, to sort of avoid, getting a copyright strike. I'm told that, Pearl actually, she reacted to this and she was able to play everything and all that good stuff. But, we'll see what happens. Hero UEL says, I wasn't trying to bait you. If you believe in karma, that's your business. I just wanted to know if you believe in coincidences. Yes. And now I want to know why you think, I want to know why you are wondering about whether or not I believe in coincidences, because coincidences and karma, those are derivatives of one another. You would not have asked that question if we were not talking about karma. So John Simone says, Justin, I don't know much about the details regarding karma, but in the end, we all have someone to answer to sooner or later, always. Right. And having someone to answer to has nothing to do with karma, but cause and effect. Okay, so let me jump in. All right, let me make sure the volume is. Damn it. There we go. All right, let me go back to the beginning here. All right, and away we go. Fair use. Fair use. What the hell is this? in the whoa, wait a minute. Whoa, wait a minute. What the shit is that? What the fuck is that? What? Hold the fucking phone, bruh. What? Piers Morgan is eating a banana and rubbing the peel on himself? What are we doing? Bruh, what the yo, what the fuck is that? What in the fuck is that? Yo, this is crazy. What in the fuck is, dude? What, dude? A grown man is rubbing a banana peel on his face. Holy moly! Brenda C says, I think he's making fun of that morning routine viral video. Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, you guys know me. Listen. You guys know me. I am very, very bad. I am very, very bad at how can I put this? I'm very, very bad at keeping up with current events, so I have no idea what that's about. I have no idea about this morning routine. You guys know me. I'm always the last to know. Yeah, he's making fun of Ashton Hall. Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Ay. What the fuck is this guy doing? Oh, wow. Did not see that coming. Okay.
Adolescence on Netflix is currently the biggest show in the world.
Yes, it is.
About a 13-year-old misogynist.
A 13-year-old misogynist. There we go.
Kills a teenage girl has been seen by 25 million people so far and was raised by the British Prime Minister.
Hang on a second. Let's speed this up a little bit. Let's just speed this up just a tiny bit. We'll go to 1.05. We'll speed it up just a little bit.
In Parliament.
With our children, I've got a 16-year-old boy and a 14-year-old girl. And it's a very, very good documentary to watch, or drama. This violence carried out by young men.
Dude, what the fuck is this guy prattling on about?
Influenced by what they see online is a real problem. It's abhorrent. And we have.
Yeah, Rogue Nation says, can you get rid of your face backgrounds? Nope. No, sorry, man. Like, guys, I gotta be careful here, guys. I gotta be careful. I have to be careful here. And the reason, listen, I'm sorry, I'm not removing the facial backgrounds. Okay? I'm not doing that. All right? And the reason why I'm not doing that is because I gotta protect my channel. You know, listen, Trump's in office. Pearl was just remonetized. Fresh and Fit might get remonetized. Sartan and Rolo are, they're monetized again. But I take nothing for granted. Yes, Rogue Nation, it's copyright. It's copyright. So there we go. Yeah.
To tackle it.
It's actually a fictional story, Prime Minister, not a documentary, but as the Prime Minister referenced, it tells the story of young boys who are radicalized by content online. There are references to the Manosphere, the Matrix, incels,
absolutely,
and red pills. Andrew Tate gets a name check. And that part of the show...
There it is. Yep. The Andrew Tate shite.
As part of an outpouring of commentary.
Andrew Tate shite.
About the abject horrors of the internet and the crisis of male role models.
Banged by a girl, you sausage.
You're not getting it. What am I not getting?
The Manosphere. And by the way, the guy on your screen, I can't remember what his name is, but if you guys remember, this was the guy who played opposite Jason Statham in the movie Snatch. He was Jason Statham's partner in Snatch.
Dad, you're not reading what they're doing. It's a call to action by the Manosphere.
Yeah, call to action by the Manosphere.
80% of women are attracted to 20% of men.
See, there it is. And you guys hear the music in the background. Makes it sound very ominous, very nefarious, all that good stuff.
You must trick them because you'll never get them in a normal way.
Yep. You see this? Look at this. Insane.
Well, The Guardian summed up the general tone of the reporting with a headline that said, from the police to the Prime Minister, how adolescence is making Britain face up to toxic masculinity. Is it really? can it not just be a successful drama that references popular culture, as so many do? Critics of the show say it's another version of the same man-bashing narrative that gave rise to the so-called Manosphere in the first place. Well, here to debate all this is the host of The Crucible, Andrew Wilson.
BS Profile said, Manosphere, bruv.
The radio host, James Barr. The host of Tomi Laren is Fearless on Outkick, Tomi Laren. And the host
Oh, she's with Outkick. Yeah, she's with Clay Travis and the boys. That's right.
of the Determined Society, Sean Fraser. Welcome to all of you. Andrew Wilson, let me start with you.
Yeah.
Because
Andrew, let's go, Andrew. Let's do it, baby. Let's do it.
look, I've got 3 sons, 31.
Oh, shit. That's not what I wanted to do. Sorry about that.
I think I brought them up to respect women, to not behave. Tomi Laren is Fearless on Outkick, Tomi Laren, and the host of the Determined Society, Sean Fraser. Welcome to all of you. Andrew Wilson, let me start with you, because look, I've got 3 sons, 31, 27, 24. I think I brought them up to respect women, to not behave in a misogynist way, and to behave in a pretty decent way generally. But I'm also aware that they've grown up in an era when the likes of Andrew Tate and others have become increasingly dominant in the way that a lot of impressionable young men.
And the reason why men like Andrew Tate have become dominant is because young men are looking for answers, okay? We as males, we as men, we look for solutions, okay? We look for solutions. We recognize the problem. The problem is that modern women are, just in a nutshell, what the red pill is really all about, what the manosphere is all about, it is about acknowledging the truth about the way modern women operate, okay? And then we offer antidotes and remedies to that. That's basically what the manosphere is about. Now, it used to be about pickup and game and all that other kind of stuff. Not to say that it isn't any longer, but now the manosphere really is leaning more into self-improvement. And when you self-improve yourself, make money, make muscles, learn game, hold frame, shout out to MLD for that, women will make higher quality women, presumably, will make themselves more available to you as a natural byproduct of your male improvement. That's really what it is. Shane will win says, trick them? Really? SMH arguing in bad faith. Exactly.
Start to think and view women. And for all that Andrew Tate can say that is positive about getting fit and being successful and
dude, literally right out of my mouth. Unbelievable.
And so on, there's indisputably a hardcore streak of misogyny that runs through his veins.
Indisputably? What? No. Andrew, Andrew Tate is not a misogynist. Andrew Tate's not a misogynist. You want to know who the real misogynists are? You guys want to know who the real misogynists are? The real misogynists are the low-level MGTOW guys, the black pill guys, right? Guys who use the rhetoric, well, how can you tell a woman is lying? She's moving her lips. Like, really? Like seriously, all women lie all the time. Come on, man. Come on.
Which I think has been quite damaging to young men. So I'm not all in either way here, but I can certainly see the arguments. Where do you sit?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that this. So I watched the show, and it just goes through a typical feminine view, right?
Yep.
So all of these things are always through the prism of the feminine. So young boys, they don't do well in school.
No.
They don't do well in school because it's all programmed for the feminine. Stay still, fold your hands, right? Be quiet. Boys are rambunctious. They like to beat each other up. They like to be mischievous. They like to break things. They like to do that kind of stuff. There's no outlet for them to do that stuff. Their teachers...
And any outlet that they have to do that stuff is always canceled. We shouldn't have boys in wrestling. We shouldn't have boys in football. It teaches them to be violent, all that good stuff. Any healthy outlet for boys, any healthy outlet that is discovered for boys without girls, okay, is seen as misogynistic, is seen as damaging, okay? Men, we don't, like the manosphere is the one, guys, the manosphere is the one place on earth where men can actually talk about, where men can actually be honest with each other and ourselves. It is the one space where we can talk freely. This used to be locker room talk. Well, the feminists invaded the locker room, and now even locker room talk is no longer sacred. The manosphere is the last bastion of free speech in terms of telling the truth about intersexual dynamics between men and women. Shout out Rollo Tomasi.
These are all women, right? There's basically all masculinity is now considered toxic.
Yep,
basically all
exactly
of it.
Right.
The same women who are getting their double shot of espresso on the way over to the school they're about to teach at. They're 24 years old. Sometimes they're banging their own students, right? Hilariously enough.
Yes, they are. And look at this.
And then these people
look at the guy in the middle. Really? Oh, I can't imagine what you're talking about.
Out to Parliament, the same women will go to Parliament, they vote.
Yeah, Chi-Town says barbershop talk. Exactly. Listen, man, look. I don't know about you guys, but like barbershop talk used to be like before I moved to Oklahoma. I used to always get my hair cut at, dude, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. Dude, the men spoke very freely.
To send men off to war to stab each other in the face with bayonets. And you're concerned about toxic masculinity. It cracks me up. It's like the brutal savagery of men is a necessary precondition for society.
Nain Rouge says, Donovan, the guy in the middle, is happy. Oh, okay. Well, all right. I guess that makes sense.
To exist. And we just kind of pretend like it's not. And this show should actually be an
Dr. B84 says that guy plays for the other team, so his opinions are complete BS. Okay, well, that makes sense. I appreciate that. Thank you guys for pointing that out.
indictment on the feminine.
Though, I don't know. Who knows? Dude, I have no. Listen, I got the niggadar. Okay? I got the niggadar, but unfortunately, I don't have the gaydar. So, yeah, I appreciate that.
Rather than the masculine. Because basically masculinity is just punished everywhere, all the time, nonstop. It's no wonder guys like Andrew Tate get so famous in these spaces. I mean, what's the alternative? The alternative is everything must be feminine, tone policing, nonsense like this. It's ridiculous.
All right, James Barr, you were laughing, but I don't think you had a joy what you're hearing.
No, I mean I don't think you've seen the show. Episode 2 is shot entirely in a school. I didn't see one of the female teachers drinking a double shot of espresso.
That doesn't mean it doesn't happen. See, now this guy's already being disingenuous. What Andrew Wilson just did is he gave you a bird's eye view on what goes on in our school systems. But what does this guy do? Well, I didn't see any teachers drinking a double shot of espresso. Well, maybe not. Maybe she did that off camera. Well, I didn't see any teachers banging their students. Yes. Oh, dude, just go to Google. It's rampant. Stop it.
At all. None of the teachers were flirting with students. There were male teachers as well.
Well, of course none of the teachers were flirting with students because a girl had been murdered the day before. What is he talking about? What is he? Does he expect the female teachers to be flirting with the male students under those circumstances? Come on.
I don't think you're describing the show here. I think you're describing your own insecurities or agenda.
Big Mike says masculinity is not punished everywhere. No, it's not punished everywhere, but it's punished in most places here in the West.
Yeah, so this doesn't contend with the argument. Like, you understand that I'm making an argument, an indictment of society itself.
Thank you. An argument and an indictment of society itself. There you go. It's just what I said. He gave you a 35,000 bird's eye view on what happens. But what does this guy do? And I say this all the time. A lot of people, when they argue in bad faith, they go from macro to micro, or they go from micro to macro. Okay? They go from big to little or little to big when they lose the argument. This guy just said, well, it's just your agenda. Yeah, the same could be said about Netflix, friend.
Based around my ideas that I'm seeing from this show. That's what I'm actually doing. So if you could contend with the fact that male savagery is necessary for the security of a nation, and that women will indeed vote in the future in parliaments to send men off to war to stab each other in the face at 18 years old with bayonets, perhaps you can contend with that. Before we start, getting into, well, tone policing is actually good and toxic masculinity is actually bad.
Oh, boy.
It's like, I think there needs to be a little bit more toxic masculinity, or what you consider to be toxic masculinity.
Well, great. Good for you.
Nothing.
I'm glad you think
nothing.
so.
Yeah,
I just don't need to argue with that. Because
No, I don't need to argue with that. Translation, he just destroyed my argument.
You just stun locked? You got nothing?
Of course, no. Of course, Andrew. No, he's got nothing. He's got nothing because Andrew literally right there just systematically took that dude apart. All this dude did was prattle on about, it's toxic masculinity and it's your agenda. And Andrew is like, you idiot. I wasn't talking about what was happening at that very school at that very moment. No, I'm talking about in general. Come on, man.
You're making up.
You
an
do
agenda
seem
that
unusually muted by that.
I've not said anything. I haven't literally said nothing about.
Yes, you have. You actually just did.
You were literally rendered silent. Like you had no way of responding.
I'll tell you what, you can't argue with a completely illogical argument that had, I've not made any of it.
What's illogical about it?
Logical argument. You may not agree with it.
I've not made any of the comments.
See, there it is. See, this is what the other side thinks, right? This is what the other side thinks. This guy is outgunned. He's outclassed. I'm not going to, something that's without logic. Are you serious? And Piers, of course, says the right thing. Listen, just because you disagree with it doesn't mean that it's without logic.
Any logical argument
that you are firing at me. None of those comments are things I've said or believe in.
All right, I want to bring Tomi in because Tomi, you've got a very interesting perspective. I think you've talked about something different. You call it the
Nimitz9
pussification of men.
That's right. Nimitz9 says, "Who is the happy guy?" Speaking up on men and women dynamics when he's not involved. That's like women trying to give men advice on being men. Exactly.
Which is a great phrase.
Black Samurai says, this guy's giving me zesty vibes. Yes, he actually is very zesty.
I'd love you to just explain what you mean by that. But also, you're not a fan of Andrew Tate or the influence he has. So that makes you, I think, an interesting commentator in this area. So just explain, first of all, the pussification of men.
All right, Piers. Well, I think, and I can't see you all, so forgive me if I'm incorrect here, but I think I'm the only female on this panel.
Correct.
So I'm really anxious to weigh in.
We got it, Tommy.
Okay. So I think over the last probably 10 years, there has been what I call the pussification of men. It was everything should be about your emotions and your feelings, and men were emasculated, and this whole concept of toxic masculinity.
Right. And this is what we tell you guys all the time. Okay. It's not about men. We have to exercise emotional control. Because when men get emotional, people die, okay? Women say, I want my man to be emotional. No, you don't. No, you don't. The most dangerous people on earth are emotional men. Because when men are emotional, people die. Andreas Lubitz flew the Germanwings plane into a mountain, killing himself and everyone on board. He was emotional. Elliot Rodger was emotional because he couldn't get laid. The Isla Vista murders, he stabbed or killed like 6-7 people. Alec Manassian, another incel who was emotional, up in Toronto, drove his van through a crowd of people. I think he killed like 10 or 11. Sung Wee Cho, the Virginia Tech pew pewer, emotional. Emotional men are dangerous. Emotional men are dangerous. This is why we tell you. And guys, guess what? I can point to myself as an example. I am self-aware enough to understand that in the not so distant past, I had problems with emotional control. This is why I've been arrested almost 36 times. This is why I'm a 4-time convicted felon. Thank God that they are now expunged and that I can vote and own pews. But yes, guys, I am proof that when you are a man and you are not in control of your emotions, bad things happen. Okay? Yes, I am self-aware enough to know that I lack the requisite, I used to lack the requisite emotional control that was necessary to move throughout life. I have a lot better handle on it now, but it's not where it needs to be. Siege D with the $2 super chat says, woo, Fresh and Fit and Donovan Sharp Friday. Yeah, I'm not going to be on Fresh and Fit on Friday. I just could not catch a plane out of here. Too much wind. Viking Paradigm says, Tommy's an alpha widow. I know one of her many ex-boyfriends, and he is an apex Chad of Chads. Yeah, I don't doubt that. Let's continue.
Warped the minds of a lot of young men, and they felt masculine, they wanted to be masculine, but society was telling them they should be softer, that it was being toxically masculine if you wanted to play sports and chop wood and go to war. And so men were so emasculated and so beat down that then there was this revolution of what was actually toxic masculinity, the Tate brothers and others.
Ah, there she goes. There it is. The Tate brothers, toxic masculinity. Anyone who describes what the Tate brothers do as toxic masculinity, that automatically makes you a feminist. Listen, we all know Tomi Laren is a feminist. We know that. There it is. Brandon M. Dude, Wes Watson is a good example. He's all in his emotions. Absolutely. That is the best example I can think of. Wes Watson has zero control over his emotions. He was actually triggered by the very man on this panel. Andrew Wilson. Andrew Wilson can't beat up Wes Watson, yet Wes allowed Andrew to get under his skin emotionally. Okay? That's the danger. This is what comes with emotional men.
I feel as a female that doesn't represent true masculinity. That to me represents douchebaggery. And as a woman...
Yes, douchebaggery, which women like you reward on the regular.
And I want a strong man who is a protector and a provider that will go to war if need be, that will protect me,
Yeah, but that will protect you without putting you in check and you giving up all your autonomy. Got it.
My family, make money. I see that as being actually masculine. That's like the man that I grew up with, my dad. But what we're seeing...
Yeah, your dad failed you, Tommy. Your dad failed you because you appear to act just like him. As Gully Blanchard says, she's masculine herself. Right. Like, dude, Tomi Laren is masculine herself. Who the hell wants to be with a woman who talks like this? Unbelievable. Dr. B84 says, Myron personally knows a dude who smashed Tommy back in the day. And a day, yeah, tradcon my ass, bitch, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. I know who that dude is, too. I know exactly who you're talking about, Dr. B. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Now is these young men who look at Andrew Tate and the Tate brothers and they see somebody who's just quite frankly a douchebag and disrespects women, and because they've been so emasculated, they're like, oh great, that's a manly man. But that's not right either. So
Yes, it is.
So at some point, I think we'll go back to maybe meeting in the middle here. You can.
There it is. Meeting in the middle. Ain't nobody meeting in the middle. Ain't nobody meeting in the middle. And see, guys, this is equivalent. This is akin to tone policing. Okay? Meeting in the middle means compromising. That's what she's talking about. She wants to compromise masculinity. Listen, there are good things about masculinity and there are not so good things about masculinity. Okay? See, what modern women like Tomi want to do is they want all of the things about masculinity that benefit them. Listen to what she just said. I want a man who's strong and decisive and will go to war and take care of his family, make money, protect the family, blah, 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 blah. But when it comes to telling your ass what the fuck to do, nah, she don't want that. When it comes to him making unilateral decisions because he knows what's best for the family, nope, she doesn't want none of that. She wants a partnership. No, feminists like Tomi Laren, they love masculinity as long as it benefits them. That's the only reason why they sign off on it to some degree.
Be a man who has feelings and emotions, but you can also go to war and protect and defend your family. I'm hoping we can get back there. But the two extremes right now, they're confusing men, and quite frankly, they're leaving women with few choices. And that's the real tragedy here.
You see, I completely agree with you, but Andrew, you were shaking your head quite vigorously. Why?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just more feminist nonsense.
There you go. Thank you. There you go.
The covert feminism in society is big, especially on the conservative side.
There it is. There it is. Covert feminism. Look at this. Look. As soon as Andrew Tate, Jesus. As soon as, hold on, my bad. Well, not really, because Andrew was on. As soon as Andrew talked about covert femininity, who's the first person to scoff? It's Tomi herself. Just watch.
This nonsense, ultimately. Watch. And the covert feminism in society is big, especially on the conservative side.
There it is. Hit dogs holler, Miss Laren. Hit dogs holler. The reason why she went is because he knows she's talking about her.
So here's what happens, right? Women need to have feminine virtues for men to be pursuing masculine virtues.
There you go.
Say things like, well, men, what I want is for men to protect me and I want men to make money. Well, that's great. What that ends up doing is it gives you a set of privilege in society. What do men get? What do men get for doing that for you? What are we getting from women for doing that? Are we getting chaste virgins on our wedding night?
Nope. Hell no.
No, we're not getting chaste virgins on our wedding night. Are we getting women of great virtue?
Nope.
No, we're not getting women of great virtue. The idea of courtly love is supposed to be done for women of great virtue. Where are they? Well,
I'll give you one clue where they are, Andrew.
They're nowhere. And so in modernity, in society, when female conservative influencers say this, it's actually a form of covert feminism. They're saying, I want privilege in society.
There you go.
Right? But what is it women are giving to men to get it? What?
Women are not giving anything to, you want to know what women are giving to men? Modern women are giving to men for their traditionalism used up bodies.
What are they giving them?
Nothing.
Tell me.
Well, can I please chime in here?
Yes, you can. And then James can, and I'll come to you, Sean.
No, I would love to. I love this whole thing of like, if you're a female conservative and you don't believe that men should be douchebags, that all of a sudden you're...
See, there she goes. Mischaracterizing things. Nobody says that men should be douchebags. Nobody says that. Nobody in the Manosphere, listen, not on this channel, okay? No one has ever said you must be a douchebag to women. There are times where you have to engage in douchebaggery activities. But we don't tell men the secret to being manly is to be a douchebag. No, we tell men the secret to being a man is to be masculine. And anything that does not serve women directly is seen as douchebaggery or toxic masculinity. Siege D with the $2 super chat says, darn, with the heart broke. Yeah, you know how it goes.
Covert feminist. Call me a feminist. I really don't give one crap one way or another, but I...
Yeah, you do. You clearly care, Tomi, because your face is beet red right now.
I can tell you this. A lot of these men, these podcast hosts on the right that like to think of themselves as these big masculine men, and what am I getting out of it? I can tell you this.
There's that feminism.
All right, I believe...
There it is. See, there it is. See, there. Oh, wow. Andrew Wilson. Bingo. I'm not a feminist. I don't care. But what does she say?
Don't give one crap one way or another, but I can tell you this. A lot of these men, these podcast hosts on the right that like to think of themselves as these big masculine men, and what am I getting out of it? I can tell you this.
There's that feminism.
Right.
There it is. Got her. Yep. There it is. There is that feminism. Landed that rib shot.
I believe I'm a woman of virtue, right?
Out.
Yeah, there's the feminism. Oh, and then you're interrupting me too,
Didn't
which
take
is great.
long,
I let
did
you
it? Didn't
talk.
take
It's my
long,
turn.
did it?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to speak over a man?
Yeah, I don't care if you call me. I don't really care if you call me a feminist.
Oh my God, Andrew is absolutely cooking. Look, dude, look at Piers. Look at Piers. Piers loves it. Piers loves
You're actually
it.
interrupting me. I didn't interrupt you.
Look
And you
at
were spewing
Piers.
your bullshit. So now it's my turn.
Oh, and now she curses. Dude, Andrew is already under this bitch's skin. Oh my God. Yo, this is not close.
Okay.
Oh
You
my
mean the truth?
Like I said before, so I believe there we go again. Here's.
Dude, she's just like a woman. She can't let anything go. She can't let anything go. All Andrew has to do is say what, dude, 3 words, 4 words, 4 perfectly placed words, and he throws Tomi right off her square. Gentlemen, this is what women do. Okay? This is why we know this is one of the frailties of women when they come onto stuff like this. What she needs to understand is that you don't need to respond to everything that Andrew says, because when you do, it's verifying everything that he said.
I'm a woman of virtue. I happen to be independently successful. I have a husband who's not only a former professional athlete, but is currently a professional baseball coach. So is he not a masculine man?
Nobody said that he wasn't.
I mean, I'm confused here. What's your concept of a masculine man? Mine is a man who respects me.
Yeah, that misses the point, though. Like, you're still not contending with the argument that I'm making.
What's your point?
I'm saying inside of society, right this second, right, masculinity is not only punished, but also women on the right, covert feminists on the right, are constantly and consistently talking about how they need to have privilege in society. I want men. Their version of masculinity is men who take care of us, men who protect us, men who do all of this. Those are all duties that men have towards women. Great. What are the duties that women have towards men? What are the duties that women have towards anything? What do men get out of this arrangement?
Thank you. Thank you.
What are we getting out of this arrangement? Can you tell me?
I mean, you.
Well, I would argue that men innately should be protectors and providers.
Hang on one second. Let Tomi
Most men are born that
Let
way.
Tomi respond to that, and then I'll come to you, Jez. And then Sean, you've been waiting patiently. So
most men are born to be protectors and providers. I can't imagine my dad saying, you know what, to my mom, you know what, I'm not going to be a protector and a provider unless you do this. That's not how real men operate.
Real men do operate like that. Real men do operate like that. You want to know why? Because women operate the same way. Women tell us, Tomi, listen, unless you provide and protect me, put a roof over my head, clothes on my back, food in my belly, I'm not giving you my body. It's quid pro quo. Okay? Relationships are absolutely transactional. Women, and this is funny, women regularly fall short of their wifely duties, yet they expect the man to never fall short of his husbandly duties. Tomi just sat here and said, well, my dad never said to my mom, I need X, Y, and Z, or I'm not doing A, B, and C. No, he didn't have to, because women like your mother aren't around today. Okay? Women and men like your mother and father, it wasn't the same back then. You see, it was understood that if you provided, protected for a woman, female, that you would get access to her body, doting, dutiful, submissive, a home-cooked meal. Okay? But now you've got people like Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion talking about, I don't cook, I don't clean, but I still got the ring. That's literally what Tomi is talking about. I don't cook or clean, but I still got the ring. In other words, I don't act like a wife, but I still got the ring. I still got the husband. And that's exactly what Andrew is asking Tomi. Men have to do all of these things. What's in it for us? And Tomi wants to sit here and say, literally, well, a man should do that. A real man would do that for a woman without any of that stuff. No. Any man that gives an undeserving woman access to his time, energy, attention, and resources, we call those simps. That's what simping really is when you give an undeserving woman access to your time, energy, attention, and resources, your tears. Coach Gray Adams calls it meat. Shout out to him. Okay? So what Tomi is saying here is, you know what? Men should protect and provide for women unconditionally. Nope. That is not happening. That is absolutely not happening. And as a matter of fact, I actually have a skit. I've actually got a skit. I actually have a skit that shows sort of that sort of makes fun of the fact that if a woman doesn't provide her body, then the man is not going to provide it either. And when I pull it up, I'll play it for you.
Real men are protectors and
real
providers.
men. See, when a woman says a real man, everything she says afterwards is for the benefit of women at the detriment of men. Let me repeat that. Anytime a feminist says a real man would, what comes out of her mouth is something that benefits women while simultaneously detrimental to men. That's what they always are. She just said it. my dad didn't say I needed X, Y, and Z. That's because men weren't the same back then, and neither were women.
And they marry women who hopefully
great.
have
A
some
woman telling
virtue,
us what
but
real
also
men
bring a
are
lot to the
again. Great.
table
There
as
it is.
well. That
See?
are great mothers, great wives, caretakers of the home. There's nothing wrong with being a traditional wife and mother. You're misunderstanding me if you think that I think that women should just be out doing whatever they want. I think that there are gender roles that should be respected. But I don't think a man needs to get something out of it to be a manly man.
Yes, we actually do. Because if we don't, that's what we call what?
You stupid.
Why in the see again? What Tomi is endorsing here is she is saying that men should step up, and here's what Tomi is saying. Here's what Tomi is saying. She's saying exactly the mistake that all men make. We get into relationships with women who don't deserve it. We're the first to angle for the relationship. Okay? What Tomi is saying is that as men, we should provide first and then we should get it. No. That is definitely not the way it should be. All right, so I found this skit. And this actually quite does quite a good job in sort of making fun of what Tomi Laren is saying right now. Here we go.
Can we just skip sex tonight? I think I'm getting a headache.
Okay.
Babe, can you please take out the trash?
Oh, sorry, babe. I have a terrible headache.
Hey babe, the tire has a nail in it. Can you fix it, please?
Whoa!
Remember, guys, if she doesn't uphold her end of the bargain,
Then you don't uphold yours. That's it. Okay? If she doesn't uphold her end of the bargain, then you don't uphold yours. Dr. B84 with the $10 super chat says, men don't owe you a better life. Rolla Tomasi, absolutely. I do apologize there. Douglas, wait a minute, hang on a second. Douglas Somerville with the $5 super chat says, I can't protect anything I can't control. Wow, very good. Very good. That's exactly right. Eben Zur with the $5 super chat says, Tomi is as masculine as Representative Crockett, despite on opposite aisles. And shout out to Andrew for destroying her like he did Lauren Chen exactly a year ago. Absolutely. Let's continue. Oh, wait a minute. Not the skit.
Protector and a provider. If you think you need to get something out of it, I quite frankly don't consider you a real man.
See, there it is. Yeah, you see, if you expect to get something out of it, if you don't expect anything in return for protecting a woman and providing for her, then you're not a real man. Guys, that's feminist talking points.
Actually, have nothing.
But we'll discuss in a moment whether Andrew Wilson is a real man.
Piers, I offer nothing. I offer nothing.
And you still haven't told us what you offer, Tomi.
You offer me a lot of things, Tomi.
No, she didn't.
Well, I always love having you on the show. You know that. Let's go to a real man, James Barr.
Thank you. I do see myself as
a real man.
And I know that you'll be looking at me thinking, well, you're not. You're wearing makeup. You're wearing colourful clothes. Like, look at me. I'm really camp. My nails are painted.
I mean, they are worrying signs.
You're sat there.
What the hell's that got to do with anything?
Smoking a cigarette. I'd love to get a vape out and start drinking a beer. Pints with the lads. Just connect with you over that. I think that you have some insane opinions on what women are meant to do.
Okay, so this guy's not making any arguments. All he's doing is talking about Andrew's opinions.
For you, it's crazy that you don't appreciate that a woman actually gave birth to you. Like, she gave you a womb for 9 months and then looked after you. I would hope for.
Yeah, that's cute, James. But guess what? Pushing the little fucker out, that's the easy part. Okay? You see, James, there's a difference between a mother and a mom. Every woman on planet Earth, well, most women on planet Earth, they have the capabilities of being a biological mother. But there are very few moms, okay? There are a lot more mothers than actual good moms. And I swear to God, man, women are inconvenienced for 9 months. And they ride the coattails of being in labor and all this other, I carried you for 9 months. Get the fuck out of here. Seriously? Western women live the best lives of any class of human on the planet. and we want to exalt them. We want to exalt them on high just for pushing out a kid every once in a while. Yeah, newsflash, James, they don't feel a damn thing. They give you an epidural. You don't feel anything from the tits down. What the fuck is he talking about? Shane will win with the $10 super chat says she hit a buzzer beater at 30, now 32, and still has yet to provide an offspring, a cute face, and that's it. Right. And Tomi knows that that's all she's good for. That's why she hasn't answered the question.
For the beginning of your life, and you're sat there going, what do women owe men? Women don't owe men anything. No one.
No, they don't. And we don't. See, he's right. Women don't owe men anything. But guess what? We don't owe you anything either. Or we don't owe women anything either. Guys, you will never, ever, ever hear me say, as a woman, you owe women XYZ. But Tomi Laren here just sat here and said, yeah, men owe women in not so many in not so many words. See, women are always quick, and it's funny. Let's use the date analogy. Girls will say all the time, well, just because you take me out for dinner does not mean I owe you sex. Fair enough. But just because I fuck you, just because you give me access to your body does not mean I owe you a commitment. You see, it goes both ways, ladies. It goes both ways. This man here, women don't owe men anything. True enough. Yep. Women do not owe men anything, but we don't owe women anything either. It goes both ways.
No one owes you anything. You have your own life.
Do you understand that if you make an argument and you say that
I'd watch your seminar on how to win an argument.
In a position, if women are supposed to be in a position of privilege where men do A, B, C, and D for them, and then I ask, well, what duties do women have? And you say, well, nothing.
No one said that men need.
Why are men checking out? I don't know why men are checking out. I don't get it. That's silly, man.
All right, let me bring in the one person who so far hasn't said a word about this. Has a lot of interesting things to say. Sean, welcome to Uncensored. I think one of the key things of this series that's made it so popular is that anyone who's had young sons knows that they are, if you're not careful, they get exposed to a lot of nasty stuff on the internet. We all know this.
Yeah, Kyle 2020 says, I love how happy men will be the biggest simps for women. Well, of course.
And a lot of it.
And I don't really know why this guy is even on the panel. This is about masculinity and heterosexual relationships. I'm not really sure what arguments he's not really making any arguments. All he's doing is just talking shit to Andrew.
Is this kind of incel stuff, which I think can be a really malevolent influence on impressionable young men. And they gravitate to it. And I think that partly what Andrew's getting at, I agree with, in the sense that following the Me Too Time's Up campaigns, which were in many ways, extremely laudable, brought down a lot of very bad men, no question of that. But the pendulum swung so wildly that I think a lot of young men in particular felt completely disenfranchised from society, felt like they're all being treated like a bunch of young Harvey Weinsteins unless they could prove otherwise.
Yeah, see, there we go. There's the extreme again. Mize Vela, Mike Alexis says, Andrew is a lightweight, but the bar is low. Yeah, that's why he's on Piers Morgan and you're not. Mize. Miez? Is that how you pronounce your name? Yeah, dude. Like you're in you are on an irrelevant. You're in the chat of an irrelevant YouTube channel with only 322 people watching, but you're going to talk trash about Andrew, saying he's a lightweight. Come on, man.
They didn't really know what the rules of engagement were with women, with teenage girls anymore, whatever. They lost their way, and by losing their way, they gravitated, I think, to very loud voices on the internet like Andrew Tate, who I think, like I say, he says a lot of stuff I find myself nodding to, and then he'll say this misogynist stuff, which I just despise it. I see no reason why you should ever want to have a relationship with a woman the way that Andrew Tate wants you to. Whereas
the way that Andrew Tate wants you to, or the way that they should be. And again, the way Andrew Tate wants you to, quote unquote, that's left up to interpretation. Gentlemen, men should lead and women should follow. Men should lead and women should follow. You want to know why I know Tomi Laren's husband is weak? You want to know why we know Tomi Laren's husband is weak? Is because we know who she is. We know who she is. Okay? Actually, you know what? Scratch that. You guys know who Devin is, and you guys know, I would hope that you guys think that I'm not a weak man. Okay? But any masculine man who leads his relationship is not going to have his woman parading herself all over debate channels like this. Tomi Laren is as masculine as they come. And she settled down at 30 years old with a man who doesn't care about her masculine traits.
Just pure misogyny. Just talk to me first of all about why you think young boys, teenage boys, young men, why they've gravitated to people like Tate. Because I have.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so I think it's, first of all, we got to understand that we have an amazing responsibility as a parent to lead from the home and to have these open conversations with our young children. All right, whether they're male children, female children, we have to make sure that we're having open door conversations and we are tackling the hard subjects. Because if we don't take care of everything at home, we don't take care of everything in public, like at school, and other forces within society that help raise our children, we always say it takes a village. Well, it certainly does, but it starts at home. And if you cannot have these open conversations and allow your children to be honest and open with how they are feeling about society and the things that they are seeing, they are going to go to misogyny. They're going to go to the Andrew and Tristan Tates of the world, and they're going to learn how to be a man from that. And that is not what society needs. It's not what the world needs. That is not.
No, that's absolutely what the world needs. Like, seriously, guys, dude, look around us. Look around us, guys. Like, dude, dating, relationships, marriages are in the toilet. Guys, I put a poll up on YouTube the other day. Like, what is more common for modern women, relationships or situationships? Like, dude, dating show breakdowns. Fresh and Fit, Pearl. Dude, women, we are really starting to begin to see an influx of women who have never been in a relationship. Never been in a relationship. There was one woman on Love is Blind, Molly, or whatever the fuck her name, 29 years old, never been in a relationship, ever. What's that going to be like in 10 years? What, when you talk to the average 27, 28-year-old woman, never, it's always situationships. It's crazy. This is why we know we need men like Andrew Tate.
Not masculinity. It is masquerading as misogyny.
How do we protect young men from the easy access at the moment there is to people like Tate? I mean,
well, you can't, because young boys also have access to pornography, but no one seems to be up in arms about that.
How do you actually put a ring fence around them so that you can tackle exactly what you've just said, but they're not also being dragged into that?
The Brown Bunny says the guy in the blue is what they want young men to be. Right. Exactly. And this is why 50% of women are going to be single by 2030.
Whoa.
It's tough because they're growing up in a world we never grew up in, Piers. We didn't grow up with the internet. We didn't grow up with Bumble, Tinder, Instagram, Facebook.
No, I was taught how to treat women by my mother, my grandmother.
Open the door.
Exactly, Piers. But again, your mother and your father are not the same as they are today. I find it disingenuously hilarious that men from yesteryear talk, well, my parents taught me. Piers, like, how old is Piers Morgan? He's got to be, what, in his 60s? Piers, your mother and father grew up in a different time, man. Like, dude, honestly, how many men in their late 20s, early 30s are listening to the bullshit advice that their preachers are giving them? Well, the reason I'm listening to my preacher is because he's been married for 40 years. Yeah, to women that do not exist anymore.
Open the door. A lot of strong women in my family, very strong women.
Here we go, strong women, here we go.
They would just take no crap from the men. So that's the environment.
No, stop. They would just take no crap from the men. Got it.
Absolutely. So how do we insulate our children from this? By having conversations, putting parameters around the social media aspects of life, and having the conversations at home. Hey, son, hey, daughter, this is what you're going to see out there in the real world. This is what you're going to see on the internet. If you see something like this, that is not how a true man.
But see, this is what the manosphere is. Okay? The manosphere is the only space where we tell the truth about what's going on off the internet. That's why men gravitate. Dude, guys, I get notes, emails, DMs all the time. Even in here. Donovan, you saved my life. Donovan, before you, I've got a consultation client who literally cried to me on FaceTime, thanking me for helping to change his life. Right? What feminist can brag about that? Think about this, guys. Just think about that. Think about this. The manosphere is the only group of people whose, I guess, constituency regularly talks about the positive results of our message. Okay? Nobody's sending Abba and Preach notes. You guys changed my life. Nobody's sending She-Ra 7. You changed my life. Right? No woman ever has said, you know what? Feminism has changed my life for the better. None of them. None of them. How many men have said the manosphere has changed their life for the better? Right? You can't say that about feminine. You can't say that about Abba and Preach. You can't say that about Destiny. Okay? Yeah, those guys want to entertain and they've already turned on each other. But that's the difference. Does your community help people, yes or no? Feminism has destroyed women, yet we still have people endorsing it. It's insane.
Man is supposed to act. And hey, that's not how a real man's supposed to treat you.
Right. So
we have to have the conversations.
Yeah, Andrew, do you intrinsically disagree with what you've just heard?
Yeah, I do. I think, again, all of this is always the burden on men, burden on men, burden on men. Men need to be doing this.
No, it's a family, Andrew. The family.
Hang on. Let me
family,
finish,
Andrew.
Men need to,
husband and wife.
Okay, yeah. So let me back up. Okay, again, men need to do this. Men need to do that. What I'm talking about is what duties do women have in society? What are the actual...
He's going back to that original question, and none of them have an answer yet.
Women's duties towards men.
Here we go. Brandon M says, UNMLD help me out by changing my indoctrination into relationships and women. Absolutely. Miles Dueling, finding the RP was one of the best things that's ever happened to me. No joke. Guys, finding the red pill changed my life. It changed my life for the better. I am a better man because of the Manosphere. I am a better man because of it. And I feel honored and privileged that I'm respected, in this community as one of these, as one of the men who helps, shape and mold the minds of, men around the world. You can't say that about feminism. Saber89 with the $2 super chat says, show me a modern woman with a cookbook. Yeah, not going to happen. Trick question.
Everybody is raised from the time they're...
Yep, Viking Paradigm says, Donovan, I am so thankful to you. I'm happy I could tell you face to face, shake your hand, and even help out a bit at the See Me 3. Exactly.
Kids, how we're supposed...
Jalen says, the RP saved my life. Dude, James Hancock says, I'm healthier than I've ever been because of Don, Myron, and Rollo emphasize the importance of working out. I need to work on game and money, but no one said the road ahead will be easy. Absolutely. Dude, the Manosphere has been nothing. Dude, I'm telling you, man, no one has ever. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some men who just don't make it, right? Andreas Lubitz, Alec Manassian, what's his name? Sung-Wee Cho. Those guys, incel. Listen, like, we don't win all the time. But, dude, I can't think of one man who has ever said, you know what? Feminism has changed my life for the better. Can't find them.
Supposed to treat women. We all know how to treat women. We never talk about how men are supposed to be treated. That's almost never discussed, especially by how women are supposed to treat men.
That's right.
What their duties in society are. This has been completely dispelled. Guys like Tate have risen because Christianity itself has become a feminized religion.
Woo! Uh-oh, Andrew's cooking.
Protestant sex has become completely feminized. And it didn't used to punish masculinity at all. And now it does. And so
Man Up Academy with the $5 super chat says, Donovan, I believe that women understand that their lives are over and they want to not be alone with their pain, misery, loves company. I would agree with that. Black Samurai with the $5 super chat says, Donovan, you have helped me most. Donovan, you have helped me most at the time of the passing of Kevin Samuels. I woke up with the Fems celebrating Kevin's death. Best show on YouTube. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. Appreciate that very much, man. Thank you. Let's continue.
Where's the alternative? Where's the spiritual alternative? It's nowhere. And we need to get back to this fundamental question of what even is misogyny. Because I don't think that men kicking the crap out of each other, being brutes, insulting each other, hazing each other, even bullying each other is misogyny.
I don't believe so either. And I believe that bullying, dude, and Myron says this all the time. I agree with him 100%. Bullying is necessary. Bullying is really the only, bullying works, guys. It does. You might not like it, but you know what? It's interesting. Bullying is kind of like masculinity, right? It's not something you necessarily like all the time, but it's definitely something you need.
Not only do I not think it's misogyny, I think it's perfectly healthy.
Yeah, but I don't think that's misogyny.
Well-adjusted.
Is that the argument?
But that is not misogyny.
Well, no, hang on. How women see this is totally...
Misogyny is where you have a hatred or, whatever you want.
Right. Misogyny is defined as the hatred of women. We don't hate women. We love women very much. Okay? We love women. Dude, I love my wife very much.
Phrase it towards women. It's not about men treating men.
Sorry, toxic masculinity is what I'm referencing here. And toxic masculinity is what they're claiming leads to misogyny. So what I'm talking about is these are all masculine traits. There's nothing wrong with them, right? When you're talking about misogyny itself, I want to know what that even is. Is it just asserting yourself to women, telling women no, telling them no, that's bullshit?
No, I'm saying it's okay. Let me answer you.
You're saying stupid things.
Andrew Tate says he's quite open about it. Women should stay at home. They shouldn't go out to work. They should do what he tells them. He's the king of the castle in his house. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right to me. And women who belong to men like this are a lot happier than women like Tomi Laren who want to run the streets.
But that is misogyny, isn't it? I've got a daughter. I've got a 13-year-old daughter. I don't want her thinking.
That's not misogyny. That's traditionalism.
She can never leave the house. She's somebody's.
No. See, now there we go. See what he did? He went from saying women shouldn't work to women never leaving the house. Do you see what they just did there? Nobody says that, dude. Oh my God, do you see what they do? You see what they do? Never leave the house. That's what they do, guys. That's what they do is they try to dovetail, our ideas with their ideas. No one says that your woman shouldn't leave the house. Guys, I say all the time, dude, women don't like controlling men. They love men who are in control. You cannot control what a woman does. You are not her father, nor do you want to be. Okay? But you can influence you can influence your woman by what you do. Give me a break.
It's not never leaving the house. Look, it is true that the world would be a better place if we didn't have it inverted and women did have a natural role at home and that was glorified and that there was government propaganda around the nuclear family and keeping women home. Why do you want to outsource the raising of children to strangers instead of your wife?
Yeah, Dano says straight bait and switch. There you go. Jose says Andrew's wife Rachel is happy. Absolutely.
That's a way better society. Why do you want your best and brightest women forced to go to a workplace instead of the best and brightest women staying at home raising their children? That's a way better system. It's always been a better system.
I guess we're talking freedom of choice.
That's not misogyny.
Women to do anything. It's freedom of choice. It's freedom of choice. I love the fact that my wife's out there working, teaching kids and building adolescence. I love that.
Okay, now that's very different. It sounds to me like his wife is a teacher. Listen, there are certain jobs that I think that women should have, okay? Because listen, it's 2025. We all know about inflation. If a woman's going to work, she has to work, okay? She has to work. Women who are daycare providers, dude, I'll give them an A on that. Women should be daycare providers. They should be at nurseries. Women need to be in industries that play to their strengths. Nurturing, providing, grade school teachers, sometimes even middle school teachers, working at a daycare center, at a nursery, taking care of babies, right? Nurses, nurturing, very, very nurturing careers, okay? But that's not what we're talking about here. No, women want to climb up the corporate ladder. That's what we're talking about.
I love that. And to your point about what do I get from a woman? I have a home. I have 3 beautiful children.
Okay, you have a home and you have 3 beautiful children. What does she provide?
I have communication in the house. And to me, that means more than anything. Like, I don't understand where I'm not saying you're wrong in your world, but to sit there and say to a woman, what do I get out of this woman? That's treating her like an object.
Oh my God, Jesus. That's oh my God.
One thing
what it is it's tit for tat. It's not treating her like an object, okay? It's not treating her like an object. It's treating her the way she wants to and deserves to be treated, okay? Once again, it is quid pro quo. This man is endorsing what Tommy endorses. What's in it for us, bro? No, I'm sorry. Dude, honestly, men, we're no longer taking this nonsense. And again, dude, black women hate that question. What do you bring to the table? You want to know why they hate that question? Because they know the answer is this. Women don't bring anything to the table but a used up vagina. Gabbit D with the $50 super chat. He says, found you, Donovan, after I was clapping a girl who was engaged. Had no idea until he called in the middle of us having sex. She's laughing while he's talking to her on speaker. It was that day I was like, I never want to be that guy. Then I found you. Wow. I'm going to tell you what, guys. You learn a lot about women by sleeping with them, right? You learn a lot more about women when you get cheated on or lied to by women. But you learn the most about women when you are the one she is cheating with. For reasons known only to the creator himself. If you are sleeping with a married woman or a woman in a relationship, she feels the need to tell you how she's getting away with it. Dude, to a woman, this is true.
Okay, so it's okay to treat men like objects, give them duties, but you're not allowed to give women duties.
I feel respected.
Okay, well, let me ask you this.
I'm not angry about it.
How come it is in the United States that men can be drafted? Women can't be drafted, but women can vote to send men to war. 18 years old, they're stabbing each other in the face with bayonets. Women can vote to send men to war that they then themselves do not have to fight. It's a duty that men have, they do not have. What's the counter duty for women? There's no obligation for women to have children, well under replacement rate. It's slated 45% of women will be single in the next 10 years, up to 60% in the next 30. That's the estimates right now. Our replacement rate, we can't even replace our own country's birth rates. That's how low they are. This is what we're seeing as a systemic issue.
Oh, yeah, there we go. There it is. Maybe it's people like you that's causing the problem. That's not an argument. James.
Inside of society, because nobody will put.
Now, do you see what just happened? Do you see what just? This is the difference between Andrew and Tomi. This is the difference between Andrew and Tomi. Andrew's cooking. Then James tried to throw in that jab. Andrew talked right through that. Yet when Tomi is making a point, all Andrew has to do is mention 2 or 3 words, and she's right off the square. Watch how Andrew talks right through this dude.
Maybe
this is what we're seeing as a systemic issue inside of society.
See, he didn't even acknowledge it. That's how it's done. That's how it's done. This guy tried an ad hominem. Well, maybe it's because of people like you. Andrew's like, dude, fuck you. I'm going to continue talking.
Because nobody will put duties on women.
Go on,
Instead,
James.
Maybe it's men like you that are making that happen. Maybe you're the problem.
See, he's trying it again.
Rate is low.
Yeah,
it's crazy to me as well that you were just saying.
Don't talk over each other. Let James speak.
I can't understand why you are sat there confidently thinking of yourself as a victim constantly. You have a platform and you're sat here like, I'm a victim. What are women
no one's calling us victims.
doing for me? What happened in your childhood that has made you so traumatized as an adult?
Here we go. What? This dude is literally arguing. This dude is literally arguing like a feminist. And look who has the biggest smile on her face. Conservative Tomi Laren. Who hurt you? Who hurt you? Dude, if you're going to debate with Andrew Wilson, you're going to have to come with arguments that are a little bit fresh. Like, what happened to you in your, like, seriously? And here's the thing. Even if something did happen to him in his childhood that traumatized him, that's not his fault. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like this guy is blaming Andrew for this mythical, well, what happened to you? You know, when they ask you what happened to you, they ask you as though it's your fault. Who hurt you? As if you purposely decided to commit to the one woman in the world who lies and cheats.
Cannot stand women succeeding. I'm so confused. I feel like the problem is not, and actually maybe this is our fault. Maybe this is the left's fault. Maybe this is modern society's fault for leaving people like you behind. But genuinely, we just
leaving people like you behind.
Not hate men, and toxic masculinity has been thrown around a lot. Ultimately, some of what you're saying is toxic, but that's not because you're a man. That's because you're an idiot.
All right.
There it is. That's because you're an idiot. That's it. There it is. Now here come the ad hominem attacks. This dude in the middle who has talked the second most. So this dude in the middle, James or whatever his name is, has talked more than Tomi and has talked more than the guy on the far right. Why is he even there? He's not even making coherent arguments. All he's doing is calling Andrew names.
Okay, so just to give you a quick rejoinder here. Again, didn't contend with a single argument I made. You just said, why are you acting like a victim? While you're here talking about how women are victims. You're not
contending with arguments that other people make.
It's wild to me. It's so wild to me.
This guy offers absolutely no value to this conversation.
This is Piers' show.
Let me go to Tomi. Tomi, I want to play you a clip. This is from a show called Newsnight on the BBC in the UK, where the host Victoria Darvish had a panel of young men on and asked them, when was the last time you cried? Let's watch this.
When was the last time you cried?
Honestly, the last time I cried, I couldn't tell you.
Same with Leo, I can't really remember the last time that I cried fully.
A lot of times I feel emotion and I look at myself, why can't I cry? We're told to suppress our emotions.
I feel like...
Yes, you have, listen, again, we are taught to suppress our emotions because emotional men are dangerous. And we're not taught to suppress them, okay? We're taught to control them. If you're feeling emotional and like you want to do something, dude, go to the gym and hit the heavy bag. Go to the batting cage and hit the shit out of baseballs and softballs. Take up boxing, Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Like, to guys, we may be treated a certain way that evokes an idea that we have to be extremely strong and upfront and here as a man, and I'm going to be composed at all times.
Now, I've got a slight issue with this, Tomi, in the sense that one of the most devastating moments for me as a movie watcher was watching James Bond blubbing in the last Bond movie. Right? I don't think to prove you're a modern man, you need to be sobbing all the time. You know, I can't remember the last time I cried. It doesn't make me less of a man or less empathetic to people or anything. I just think again, the pendulum issue of what we want men to be. I think we're now trying to persuade a lot of young men, if you're not...
Jose said paid actors. Guys, don't do that. Like, I appreciate that, Jose, but guys, listen, we have to take everything at face value. Listen, man, I'm not into the paid actor and everything is scripted. That's just not
emoting all the time. Then you're being suppressed in some way. We have over here the British stiff upper lip, which I think is a really bad rap. I think it's not a bad thing to actually not over-emote. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think
sorry, Sean, I'll come to you. That was for Tomi. I'll come to you in a minute, Sean.
Oh, sorry,
for Tomi.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all, Piers. I don't think that men should be trained to be overly emotional and that should be a sign now of new maturity, being emotional. I don't agree with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with men crying in certain circumstances. Listen, everybody has a different journey. Everybody has a different set of circumstances. There are circumstances wherein men crying I have no issue with. It's also not up to me to tell a man when he can or cannot cry. I personally prefer the men in my life not to be overly emotional. But
well, there we go, Tommy. I personally prefer the men in my life not to be overly emotional. There it is. You agree.
That's just a personal preference.
That's not a personal preference. That is a fundamental preference. Women don't like emotional men. They don't. Listen, men, we can show emotions, but we need to show controlled emotions. We need to be stoic to a degree.
Really, who am I to tell a man how he should exhibit his emotions?
Right, but you just sat here and said a real man would provide and protect for a woman and expect nothing in return. So while you admit that you're not going to tell a man when he should emote and when he shouldn't, you want to tell a man when he should provide and protect for women that are not doing anything for them. Do you guys see how the contradictions just stack on top of one another? Like, again, this is Tomi Laren talking out of both sides of her mouth. Well, I agree with this masculinity, but as long as it's not too masculine.
But again, I think that there is two sides here that are both too extreme. You've got the one hand that wants men to be feminine and cry and show their emotion and be weak. And then you've got the other side that says you cannot cry, you must always be strong, and you should look at women as an object. So again,
nobody said to look at women as objects. Okay? Nobody says that we should look at women as objects, gentlemen. We don't objectify women until they objectify themselves. All these OnlyFans girls, bikini models, blah, 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 they objectify themselves before we do.
And there's got to be a happy medium here. I think there once was, but now because of...
No, there was not a happy medium.
Again, I agree. There was an overreaction of the feminist movement to make men weak. I don't agree with that either.
Yeah.
I just wish we could come to a place where there was a happy medium, where people could just...
See, what she's trying to do, guys, is she's trying to negotiate masculinity. She wants all of the bits of masculinity that benefit her without any of the costs. Okay? Listen, Devin loves that I am the shot caller. I make all the calls. Okay? I am the shot caller. I'm the shot caller. But part of being able to relax and know that as the shot caller, she didn't have to really worry about stuff. I'm the one that's got to make the decision. I'm the one that has to make the decision. That pressure is not on her. Devin does not want that pressure. That is for me. That's the cost. And you want to know something? I have made decisions regarding our household that she doesn't necessarily agree with. Guess what? That's the cost of being with a masculine man. That's the cost of being with a man who's in charge. Tomi Laren wants a man who, and somebody just said it in the chat, she likes a man that never says no to her. Right. She wants a man to fulfill all of his masculine duties, but then when it comes time to check her and to protect her and keep her safe, now she wants autonomy. There is no happy medium, Tommy.
Be human beings who could have a gender role but weren't married to that gender role in absoluteness. There's got to be a place for that. I would certainly hope.
Yeah. Andrew Wilson, when was the last time you cried?
When I had a death in my family.
And how long ago was that, if you don't mind me asking?
Many, many, many years. Many years. I don't know, maybe a decade, something like that.
Right. So you haven't shed a tear in a decade?
I don't think so, no.
Would you see it inherently as a weakness in a man to over-emote?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Men, listen, you don't want men to fall to pieces in crisis. You're the head of a family. You're the head of your household.
Thank you. That's all this is. You don't want men to fall to pieces in crisis, guys. Okay? Dude, when the lights are the brightest, when the pressure is on, we cannot be emotional. We can't be. It doesn't work. Even Zur with the $10 super chat says, Rolla opened my eyes to the RP after reading the Rational Male book in 2018. Wasn't a fan of Donovan, LOL, but saw a lot of material that Donovan bridges the gap between theory and practice, like how to master the game. There you go. There you go. That's it. There it is.
And also, you're the heads of nations. You have a moral obligation not to fall to pieces. In fact, I would say you're duty-bound not to. You need to be able to control your emotions, and you need to be able to attempt to control them at all times. It's not to say that you're not going to lose control. Nobody's perfect. But I think that the idea of the stoic man is a much better prospect for the idea of, like, this leftist that I'm arguing with next to me on the panel.
There it is. There it is. Love it. There it is.
I would not want to be that guy, that person who just cannot control their internal emotions. They can't do it. And unfortunately, again, this is through the viewpoint of the feminine prism that it's only through empathy, right? Empathy first. And it's like, no, it's not always about empathy. It's also about reason. It's also about logic. It's also about understanding that we live in a carnal world full of warring tribes who are always killing each other. And that's part of the human condition. You can't afford to have
Andrew.
losing control to emotion or to empathy.
James, when was the last time you didn't cry?
Shout out to Walter.
On a date. Let's flip the question around.
I haven't cried today, but I did cry yesterday, and I think it's okay to cry. And it's funny that
it is okay to cry for people like you, okay? But for people like me, people who have other people depending on me, I can't afford to go to pieces in crisis.
You keep trying to goad me and saying that I don't have control of my emotions. I think I have incredible control.
Nobody said that you didn't have control over your emotions, James.
Control over my emotions because I know what's upsetting me and when, and I'm able to talk about it.
Well, how often do you cry?
I mean, not all the time, but
every day?
No, not every day, Piers. I cried yesterday.
2 or 3 times
I probably haven't cried for about 3 weeks before that. But honestly, my therapist tells me I need to cry, and it's a good relief.
But the point being, Andrew.
Oh God, he has a therapist. Jesus fucking Christ. That explains a lot.
I think that is such a weakness, Andrew, that you haven't cried in a decade. Like, that's crazy to me.
Told me I could cry.
I'm so worried about you. I can't understand. Well, you're crying now.
I'm so worried about you.
I'm pleased I happily facilitated that for you.
I think we're seeing the two extremes that Tommy was talking about.
Honestly, yeah, Tommy, you're so right. There's no nuance. I mean, it's difficult to have nuance on this show anyway, but we do need to find some in this.
No. You guys don't want the nuance. You guys want men acting like boys. You want men acting like women.
I think the point is, men should not feel they can never emote, but also they shouldn't be encouraged to believe if they're not constantly emoting, there's something wrong with them.
Well, of course, but also
that's where the pendulum's just gone too far.
You are also sort of guilty of this manosphere, Piers. You're very much in the manosphere yourself.
What do you think that means?
Whoa, wait a minute. So now, because he's a part of the manosphere, he's got to be guilty of something?
That you think James Bond shouldn't cry, and that if he does, that's a weakness?
No, James Bond shouldn't cry. Because if James Bond cried, he wouldn't be James Bond.
I want him to seduce women.
Which he does.
I want him to be a ruthless, steely-eyed dealer of death to bad guys.
But also,
I want him to have a cigarette with his whiskey or his shaken not stirred vodka.
Maybe Andrew's your type.
And I don't want him sopping like a baby all the time. I don't.
Like Tommy might not.
Guess what? When you're in Her Majesty's Secret Service, you don't have time to cry all the time.
There it is. See? At his core, even Piers Morgan understands. Even Piers Morgan understands the duty of a man to keep himself together in crisis. By the way, shout out to Walter, of course, is not on camera. Shout out to Walter. He is here on camera. Of course, he's drinking my water.
Very sad news about Her Majesty Piers. Sadly, she did pass away, and I'm sure you cried at that, which is completely
His Majesty
right.
now, obviously.
Tommy,
actually, the last Bond film was under.
It is God Save the King now, by the way.
Her Majesty, so I was correct.
Fine. Fact checking. Tommy would obviously like to go out with a man like you then, because you don't think it's okay for a man to cry.
She has excellent taste.
But there are other women who do have a man that cries. Like, we're not all the same. We don't all require the same type of man. So it's fine if we all want to be different types of men, but there shouldn't be one rule for all men. And that's
no, and we're not saying that there is one rule for all men. See, this guy keeps. All right, Walter, you got it. This dude keeps trying to generalize what we're saying. Nobody said that there's one way to be masculine. Nobody said that you have to be absolutely. No, we all have different personalities. We all have, strengths and weaknesses. What are we doing?
That's the
all right, let me bring Sean back in and bring it back to Adolescence, because this series has blown up worldwide. It's got incredible numbers of people watching, talking about it, debating. A lot of parents thinking, what should they do if they have a young teenage boy? And I saw it, as I say, with my 3 sons, the Jonathan Haidt book about cell phones, from 2010, when phones became smartphones. Basically, young people's brains started scrambling, and they've carried on scrambling ever since. That doesn't help. I think a lot of the issues that young men face are driven by stuff they see on their phone.
I agree.
Yes, they are. And it's funny. You know what? It's interesting. You know what they need to do, guys? You know what they need to do? So Adolescence, listen, we all know that Adolescence clearly had feminist propaganda, right? This is what happens when young boys have unfettered access to the internet. Bad things happen. He ends up killing people and all this other kind of stuff. What happened to the special that talks about girls? What is the female version of Adolescence? Okay, because I'll tell you what. One of the main reasons why relationships are in the absolute toilet is because girls also have smartphones. Smartphones has damaged Dude, honestly, smartphones and the internet has damaged women far more than it's damaged men. Far more than it's damaged men. So they just, in adolescence, they're giving us the extremes in terms of what happens when teenage boys have access to the internet. Okay. And listen, it's not like the situations or the scenarios at adolescence never occurs. Yes, there are young boys who watch this kind of stuff and they take it the wrong way. They take it the wrong way. They really are toxically masculine. They really are misogynists. Okay? But what about the girls? What about the girls having sex at extremely young ages? Very, very, very young ages. Right? What about the consequences of those? No, we don't want to talk about that. We only want to talk about what happens when young boys get access to the internet.
For this specific instance, my wife and I were waiting to give our children phones until at least 8th grade, right? At least.
Oh my God, 8th grade. Oh no.
Grade. We want to monitor what they're seeing and what they're being filled with, right? Because again,
yeah, there it is. JF says OF and being flown out to Dubai. No one says a word. Exactly.
Subject to search engines. They hear things at school, then they go home, they search it on their phone, they search it in their room, and now they're wide open to this world that they don't need to be a part of. Because
yep, JF says zero concern about toxic feminism. Absolutely. We want to talk about toxic masculinity, but we don't want to talk about toxic feminism. Got it.
Their brains haven't fully formed yet. They're still little. My son's almost 12. Right? I got to be very careful of what he puts in his mind. And social media, for the things that we are doing as adults, yeah, it's pouring into our household and we're doing well with it. But for an adolescent, like these young kids, I'm seeing kids at dinners when we're at restaurant surfing TikTok while their parents are not even paying attention to what they're doing.
Hey, that's what happens though.
Like that right there.
See, wait, hold on. Let me go back. See, listen to this. Listen.
We're doing well with it. But for an adolescent, like these young kids, I'm seeing kids at dinners when we're at restaurant surfing TikTok while their parents are not even paying attention.
Absolutely. And this includes this includes boys and girls. Guys, I'm here to tell you, for every one Andrew Tate, there are 50 Tomi Larens. For every one Justin Waller, there are 2,800 Destinies. For every one Myron Gaines, there's 50 Abbas and Preaches. We're outnumbered here. I don't know what the problem is. The only problem is that we're actually making a positive impact on men. But it's not just young boys who are being damaged by the internet. It is absolutely young girls.
Attention to what they're doing. Like that right there is a massive problem.
All right, we've got 366 people watching. I've got 176 likes. Let's try to get it to 200 likes, guys. Let's try to get up to 200 likes. Let's go.
And if we don't, as a society, get a hold of that, then this will never end. There'll be more series like Adolescence that hit even harder because we're witnessing it in our own lives.
Yeah. No, we're not. See, that's the thing. Adolescence, and I want you guys to understand something. Adolescence is the extreme. Adolescence is the extreme. That is not the norm. That is the extreme. Adolescence is not what's happening around the world. It's what they want us to think is happening around the world. What adolescence is trying to do is they're trying to scare people. They're trying to scare people away from the manosphere. If you're a parent, you got to keep your kids away from Andrew Tate because they're going to end up as a 13-year-old boy who stabs a girl to death. You keep them away from Myron Gaines. This toxic masculinity will turn young boys into killers. No. They're mischaracterizing everything.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew, you seem to be in agreement with some of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's poison. There's no doubt. It re-scrambles children's brains, and it's very difficult to monitor. Even if you have parental controls, they can find ways around it. At school, they have peers who will assist them in getting around it. You have to monitor it really well. Smartphone technology for my own kids, it was kind of new. I wish that I, in retrospect, had done more guarding against that myself. You don't know the dangers of that technology until children get a hold of it, and then you're left scrambling going, oh man, I wish I had known that this was going on or that was going on, but you have no idea. Now though, we have a little bit of retrospect, and we know that it's an appropriate thing to do to guide against this type of technology because yeah, he's absolutely right. It does create all sorts of problems for kids. I'm not sure that gets to the heart of the masculinity and feminine issue, but I totally agree with him that we should be safeguarding our children against this technology.
I agree.
It does seem to be very bad for them.
And you know what? That's the $1 million question, guys. That's the $1 million question. How do we protect our kids from this stuff? I don't really think there's a way, man. I really don't.
And, James, there is pretty well unfettered pornography on the internet.
Absolutely. There we go. Absolutely. And guess what? The people who are doing the prawn are no longer It's no longer just prawn stars. It's everyday girls jumping on OnlyFans and creating prawn.
Men and women, obviously, but men are watching a lot of often quite violent, degrading sexual scenes on.
Yes, that the women are participating in willfully and consensually. Some people are just freaks like that, Piers.
In these porn clips they're seeing online. None of that can help in the way an impressionable young male mind.
Or an impressionable young female mind. And again, it's all, what about the boys? What about the girls, guys? What about the girls?
It goes about trying to forge a real relationship with an actual woman.
Well, I think it's important not to say young male mind. It's any person's mind, right? Like, I don't think we should victimize men. I can't believe Andrew's agreeing with me.
Oh, shit. And I agree with him, too. It's not just the men. It is also the girls. So good for him.
But, yeah, it's awful. I mean, I genuinely don't think people should have phones until they're 16. They certainly shouldn't have social
Well, Australia's done that, and I'm not against it.
Yeah.
The smartphone ban till 16.
I mean, it's terrifying.
Why not?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
On air, on TV, and
I'm good with that.
Say whatever you want. Like, I know you're pretending that you're uncensored, but you couldn't sit here and say literally whatever you want.
Yes, I can.
Well, not really, Piers, because if you said something that incited hatred or racism or a terror attack,
I wouldn't want to say
be
that.
arrested.
I wouldn't
but online,
why would I want to incite
I'm not
a terror
saying that
attack?
you want to. I'm just trying to
See, there it is. See, there it is.
make a point. Online,
You're saying I can't say what I want.
Online,
Ooh, J-Mon. Boy, this is the comment of the day. I'm actually going to take a screen grab of this because J-Mon, this is, wow. This is actually a very, 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 very good comment by J-Mon. Let me pull this up here for you. Because I need to put this on screen. This is actually, I've never heard this before, but I think I agree 100%. So J-Mon says, you'd have to treat technology as if it were alcohol or drugs, because it's beneficial in growth when used properly, such as in alcohol. I'm going to give you a Don DeMarco for that, my friend. I'm going to give you a Don DeMarco for that. Yeah, man, when it comes to technology, you really have to treat it like drugs and alcohol. You really do.
Do not want to incite a terror attack.
But if you did,
I'm allowed. Just to be, you're raising an interesting point about censorship.
Yeah.
We're uncensored because I don't say anything I don't want to say.
Right.
So when you say I'm censoring, I'm actually self-censoring. I'm not. I'm not going to call for a terror attack.
I'm not saying that you would ever do that, of course, but I'm saying that if you did, there would be accountability for that because you are broadcasting to a lot of people.
Right.
Yes, but guess what? We are the only ones that are quote-unquote held accountable. It's only male-centric content that gets censored. We got a million channels out here talking about niggas ain't shit, destroy a man's life now. But as soon as content like mine comes along, hey, this is how not to get got, we get censored.
But a lot of people online do not have...
There it is. Igor Juarez with the £2 super chat. Wait. Oh, that is with the £2 super chat says, no one here talks about Lily Phillips and Bonnie Blue. Exactly. Lily Phillips slept with 100 men in less than 24 hours. Bonnie Blue slept with over 1,000 men in 24 hours. Why aren't we talking about them? Why isn't there an Adolescence done about them? Right? Okay, listen, the kid in Adolescence, listen, he took things the wrong way. Okay, that's fine. But I'm going to tell you what. There are a lot more, I'm going to tell you guys this right now. There are a lot more Lily Phillips and Bonnie Blues than 13-year-old incels who are homicidal. Let me repeat that. There are a lot more Lily Phillips and Bonnie Blues out there than there are homicidal 13-year-olds running around the UK.
That gate stopping them from saying horrendous things. And so therefore it can blow up online, excuse the horrible pun, and that shouldn't be allowed. There should be a system in place that stops people broadcasting things that aren't meant to be broadcast to millions of people.
Things that aren't meant to be broadcast. What you are describing, James, is literally censorship. That's what it is.
One of the problems, Tommy, Toby Young, who's a British journalist, director of Free Speech Union, very, very big in promoting and defending free speech, says Adolescence, the new teen drama, is pro-censorship propaganda, partly paid for by the state.
It is.
It's now being seized upon by Labour left-wing MPs as evidence we need more online censorship.
See?
And that is, of course, you talk about a swinging pendulum. What you don't want to come out of all this is an overreaction.
There you go.
Over-censorship. Because that in itself becomes a problem.
Yeah, 100%. And I agree with Sean on this point, too. I think parenting has more to do with this than any of us really, can even understand. I mean, many, I'm sure, in this panel can. But parenting is, to me, the end-all be-all of all of this. I mean, you can watch horrible things online. You can
I
listen to
agree with
people
that.
say horrible things. But if you've got a good foundation with good parents at home, hopefully two, that provides you with a lot of guidance and support to navigate these things. And it doesn't really, scramble your mind in the way that those that are not blessed with a two-parent household may be impacted by it. I don't believe that censorship is ever the answer. I believe that more speech is the answer to speech that you don't like. And as much as I don't like certain people online and what they say, whether they're the Tate brothers or whoever else.
See, the reason they want to censor us, guys, there are two reasons they want to censor us. Because number one, they know we're telling the truth, and number two, they don't have any arguments. They don't. That's why they want to censor us. If we weren't telling the truth, they wouldn't want to censor us.
I believe that they should have the right and the ability to say it, and then people like us should have the right and ability to respond to it. I think that's the healthiest way to come to a great consensus, or at least a public square where we can all debate ideas with dialogue and conversation. But I don't think that censorship is ever the answer. And I think that, our leaders in America have done a great job of emphasizing that, especially to the European countries who believe censorship is the way to cleanse or the way to legislate morality. I just don't think that's the way to do it.
Well, the instinctive reaction, certainly in the UK, for a long time now, many years, has been to censor and to ban and prohibit and so on.
There
and
you
I think
go.
people begin to wake up to the downside of that, is that once you give away, once you chip away, I think...
guys, before I finish this, let me just make a few, let me make a few quick announcements here. Before we finish this up. Guys, be sure to follow me all over social media. Pardon me. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. You can follow me there at Donovan Sharp TSR. On X, you can follow me there at TSR Donovan. And on Facebook, search for How to Relationship as well as Donovan Sharp. I've got 2 pages there. Guys, make sure you subscribe to my channel on Rumble. The link is rumble.com/Donovan Sharp. This is where my best content is, guys. It is raw, it is unfiltered, and it is uncensored. I do my dating show breakdowns there. I do my movie breakdowns there as well. I do watch party sports. Anything and everything you can think of that cannot be on YouTube is always on Rumble. So make sure you subscribe to my Rumble channel. Let's continue.
Things like freedom of speech, freedom of expression, you're heading down a pretty slippery road, which can be dictated by your government. And then that's not a place.
It's interesting though, isn't it? I mean, I just want to make a side point, and I don't need to get into it, but like your government are banning books. So they are literally talking about free speech whilst also banning free speech in it that they don't agree with. So what you're saying is nice, and I agree with you in principle,
from
but that's
children's
not
libraries
literally what
is
is
not the
happening.
same as banning books.
You talked about freedom of speech, right? And everyone coming together and having a discussion about it. But that's not what's happening.
Yeah, but
putting graphic gay porn into children's libraries
Whoa.
is a little different.
Hey.
I mean, no one should be putting porn into a children's library. I think we all agree on that.
Then why are you complaining that that's being
Because that's
banned?
not what I'm discussing. I'm discussing books. That talk about
there it is.
diversity,
Got him,
equality.
dude. There it was. There it is. Got him. There it is.
That talk about Black Lives Matter, that talk about gay pride. Like this is.
So I don't have the same take as the rest of the panel when it comes to the idea of legislating morality. I think that there are ideas which are subversive and that we can get rid of, and that's absolutely fine to do. I don't think that we need to have unfettered access to pornography. I don't think that we need to have unfettered access to children being introduced to this type of sexuality so young. I don't think that that's necessary at all. I don't think it's an impingement on free speech at all. And not only that, there's going to necessarily be limits on every single freedom that we have. By necessity, that's the way it has to be, unfortunately. And the reason it has to be that way is because otherwise you're going to have nothing but subversives who go in and subvert your entire culture.
There you go.
Which is exactly what happened in the UK, and it's exactly what's been happening in the United States. So we have to have some way to fight back against that.
All right, Sean, final word to you.
I just feel like, raising children is a multi-pronged approach, right? I mean, you're looking at first in the house, then you're looking at the schools, you're looking at the government, you're looking at extracurricular activities with coaches, et cetera, and different people that have their hands on the child. I just think it's important to be at home having these open conversations, right?
Yeah, he's right about that. Listen, I don't think there's a way to completely protect children from all of the dangers online, but the best way to do it, just like this guy on the right is saying, you gotta talk to your kids, man.
This drama series did for me was already had this shining light on a subject, but made it even brighter. Like, I need to open the door and talk to my child. I need to talk to my son. I need to talk to my daughter to see what's going on in the world, right? Because if I don't know what's going on, then I can't help them navigate what's going on in society.
But I think, it's interesting. It's been a fascinating debate. I just think if you don't know that your child is going down rabbit holes like that kid is in that series for that length of time, then it comes to Tommy's point, is you're failing your parenting. That is a fundamental part of parenting. Is you're supposed to be protecting these impressionable young minds as best you can. If they're spending hours after hour every day watching and viewing incredibly disturbing content that fries their brains and makes them do stuff they wouldn't otherwise have done, you are failing as a parent. And one of the biggest issues in the world right now is a general sense of a lack of accountability for parents. They're the first feckless parents to blame everybody else. It's the government's fault. It's the police fault. It's the social workers' fault. It's the school teachers' fault, etc., etc. It's never their fault. And actually, if you just start by saying, actually, we should have done more as parents, that is a good message to send everybody.
There you go. And it's interesting. That was sort of the overarching message at the end of Adolescence, right? They started asking themselves, where did we go wrong? Blah, 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 blah. But they removed the blame on themselves. Yeah, he was in there all by himself. There was nothing we could do. Then they wanted to shame the Manosphere even more. I was looking for something on gym equipment, and this stuff came up.
We could probably all agree on that. Great discussion.
Absolutely.
Great discussion. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
Okay, so Tomi Laren absolutely got absolutely cooked. She got absolutely fried. Absolutely fried. Ashton Hall? Oh, I know who this guy is. Oh, I know who this dude is. Yeah, this guy Ashton Hall is the dude who, like, they call him Super Nigga. They call him Super Nigga on Instagram. So I guess this is what they're talking about here. I guess some nigga with a six-pack and some jack nigga. Yeah, he's jacked. 4:20 a.m. All right, he's got the traps. Oh, well, that sucks. Is he reading the Bible? Is he journaling? Okay, well, whatever. I don't really care about this. Whatever the case may be. Andrew made sport of these people. He made sport of these people. He is not lying when he says that he is a blood sport debater, man. He is not lying when he says he's a blood sport debater. Like, dude, holy moly. Like, I don't think I've ever seen Andrew lose a debate. I don't think I've ever seen him. Good Lord, this dude has 9 million Instagram followers. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna tell you what, man. I could probably increase my profile if I got myself into that kind of shape. Holy moly. This dude is in a motherfucking Rolls Royce. Good for him. Good for this nigga, man. Yo, I need to see, this is what I'm talking about right here. See, I need to know what this that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. There it is, man. There it is. Look, good for him, man. Good for him. Good for him. All right. Okay, guys, we are going to move the party over to Rumble. Again, there will not be a Hard R podcast today. There will be one. There will be a Hard R podcast tomorrow. I've got some errands to run. I've got some equipment to pick up, and so we are going to go straight to. Oops! Wait a minute. Hang on a second. Oh, never mind. Hold up a second. Let's see here. Netflix. There we are. There we go. All right. Very nice. Very, very nice. Okay. All right. Appreciate that very, very much. So I'm gonna put the link. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Let's see here. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah, this season of Temptation Island has absolutely been goated. This is the best season of Temptation Island I've ever seen. It's the best I've ever seen. It's absolutely incredible. It's absolutely incredible. So now I've ever seen. There we go. All right, very good. So we're gonna go ahead and move the party over to Rumble. I didn't even know that we were live on Rumble, to be honest with you. Didn't even know that. So I'm gonna say goodbye to my. Oh, looks like my ex is offline. So okay. Oh no, 37. I had 37 people watching. And now I'm going to say goodbye to my YouTube audience. I will see you guys over on Rumble.